Devotees with Mistaken Judgments, by Krishna's Mercy. Mahatmanas tumam parth, Devim prakritim ashrita, bhajantya ananya manaso, jatva bhutadim avyayam. Quote, O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita, 9:13.
There is that verse in Bhagavad-gita which explains the protection that the devotees receive. I believe it is in describing the Mahatma. The truly great soul is under the protection of the divine Prakriti. This is different from the material Prakriti, which is also divine in origin, but carrying a different effect. The material Prakriti is illusion. It is identification with something temporarily manifest. It is focusing only on that temporary concept, sort of like being enamored by a shiny toy or a bright light. This kind of Prakriti is a distraction. Unfortunately, that divergence can continue for countless lifetimes as the conceptions carry forward in the manner of air bringing sense from outside into the home. Shariram yadavapnoti yach chapya utkramatishvara grihitvaitani sanyati vayur gandhan ivashayat. Quote, the living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another as the air carries aromas. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita, 15:8. The Mahatmas are different, you see. They are with the higher Prakriti. They are still involved in the material nature. They are still interacting with the elements. It is not that their movements stop. They do not necessarily put an abrupt halt to breathing, to standing up, to working, to making plans for both the near and long terms, and so forth. What I want to know is how to prove that the protection exists. How exactly does this kind of Prakriti provide shelter? It appears that even elevated souls make mistakes. They extend faith to people who are cheater. The acharya, for instance, might get poisoned by their own students. You have Sita Devi, the wife of Sri Rama, mistaking a Rakshasa for a beautiful golden deer. Sri Hanuman feels a sense of regret after burning down Lanka with his fiery tail. He wonders if the entire mission is now spoiled because of his uncontrolled anger. Bhishmadeva, a Mahajan explicitly referenced in Shastra, was fighting with the side of Duryodhana in the Bharat War. Sri Krishna, the object of worship, the origin of that divine Prakriti, was aligned with Arjuna. In the literal sense, Bhishma was against Krishna. How exactly does that misalignment provide protection? How can Bhishma be protected when he is against Krishna?
We can continue with the Bhishma example to get clarity. It is a mistaken assumption that simply by being religious allegiance, we will avoid trouble in life. As there are accidents that happen everywhere around the world, the same can take place in a Dhamma like Puri or Vrindavan. As non-devoted people sometimes succumb to illness at an early age, there is always the chance of an untimely departure for a devoted soul. The protection manifests in consciousness. People still make mistakes, but the ultimate result of such mistakes is auspiciousness. It is like the negative gets wiped out in due course of time. Bhishma fought for the supposedly wrong side, but the end result was thinking of Krishna as Narayan at the time of death. This is the most glorious end to the life experience. Sutuvach, Krishna evam bhagavati, manovag drishti vrittibhih, atmanya atmanam aveshya, swanta shwas uparmat. Quote, Sutta Goswami said, thus Bhishma Deva merged himself in the Super Soul, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions, and thus he became silent, and his breathing stopped. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.943. If my mistakes bring me further into illusion, if I lose my way in transcendence, then I am not under the protection of the divine Prakriti. Otherwise, nothing will keep me from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can do with me as he wishes. I will always stay with him, under his protection. Satatam kirtayantoma, yatantascha dridvrata, namasyantascha mam bhaktya, nitya yukta upasate. Quote, always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 9:14. In closing, protected right from the start, validated at moment to depart, despite in war to fight in cause that didn't seem right, and in conflict arrows to fire, against Arjuna and Krishna to transpire, Bhishma under the divine protection, thoughts in Narayan's direction,